Hello and welcome to day number 11 of StarLadder Season 6. Game number 2 of a day where we will see 3 matches in total. But this one is the one that most people will be looking forward to, because here it is, no need to wait anymore. We're gonna see Alliance taking on RoX, and this should be an interesting game. We have of course seen Alliance take down all the Chinese teams, and this is their first game since they came back, first official game anyway. And one thing that I want to know, wait a second. Hello Vykromond, welcome back to the broadcast.
Hey Sheever, it's good to be back. I'm excited for this game.
Me too. Wait a second.
Oh wait.
Sorry for cat sounds. There we go.
No worries.
Anyways, we are what we normally see is when a team wins something big, right? They have a bit of a down period afterwards.
Yep.
Will we see that from Alliance?
I'm not sure. I kind of don't think so. I think Alliance right now are so strong across so many dimensions that I feel like they have an advantage going into this. I do think it's interesting that, so RoX has done a very Alliance-targeted banning scheme here. They take out Admiral Bulldog's Lone Druid, they take out Ake's Chen. Alliance has gone with a very standard bans against RoX.KiS, not what a lot of teams have been doing. Now, Alliance has been in China, but basically every Western team now bans Lifestealer and Gyro against RoX.KiS, or they ban one of the two and then take the other one to avoid Bees Perfect getting one of his two best carries. But in this case, they actually leave both the Lifestealer and the Gyro up, so RoX is going to secure the Lifestealer for themselves, which I suspect means load a Gyrocopter.
Unless they also want to take the Gyrocopter, which would of course be very greedy. But they could actually do it. We've seen Gyro on aggressive tri lane, safe lane, safe lane Lifestealer. It has happened, and we're just gonna have to wait until they actually pick up their last hero. I mean, in terms of bans, nothing really spectacular. Magnus for Alliance, so S4 Magnus. It's gonna be a tough game for RoX regardless, so they have to try and make their other two lanes work out, because you're gonna assume that Magnus mid is not gonna be an easy lane to beat. And are they actually gonna try, is the question. Or do they want to have it a bit of a wash, perhaps?
I think it'll end up with a wash at best, but the thing about Solo as a mid player is he's very, very much going for those early kills, trying to get the win in that lane. And I'm concerned that if he tries to dive too hard for it, he'll get punished so hard. Because Magnus is such a defensive hero, and S4 early on in the laning phase is a pretty defensive mid player. So I think RoX will do better if, as you said, Solo plays fairly conservatively in the mid. But he is YOLO Solo. Like, he dives really deep sometimes, and I think he has to be careful about how he plays this game.
Yeah, I think so too. We know that, of course, the coordination of Alliance is amazing. So it's like diving at the wrong place at the wrong time, even if you're just an inch off. Could mean death for RoX, so they have to play this carefully. We know that RoX has been in a bit of a slump after, of course, the qualifiers, but since this weekend, they've been on a high again, or at least they're performing like we know they can, and I'm really hoping they can put up a big fight here. This is not an easy opponent in StarLadder. By the way, just for people, just to make it all clear, just to show the score so far, for Alliance, this is their first game in Star Series Season 6. You do see them having one win. That's because Cupid Red Pandas got dropped from StarLadder, so they already have that win in their pockets. RoX, they are sitting at 4 games played so far, 2 wins, 2 losses, and 6 points in total. So that is their score for this right now, and we'll just see how they can do this one. If they can win this, I think they're gonna. If RoX can win this, I think they're looking good for the rest of the season as well. Just having, of course, those 2 games dropped when they were on their down period.
Mm-hmm.
But
it would be a huge morale booster for RoX.KiS to beat the best team in the world, or what people are starting to call the best team in the world.
Yeah.
After that, absolutely dominant G1 performance. If they could win this, it would be huge. And so far, they have a lineup they really like. I mean, we've seen Yol and Vanscore play very good Shadow Demons. Dread is a very, very good Clockwork. Sometimes he has games where it's just like, what are you doing, man? But most of the time, he's a very strong Clock. And this is Business Perfect's like signature hero, this Lifestealer. It's just this and Gyrocopter.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. We will see Clocks work Yol though, so that's great. I hope that's indeed gonna be the case. Phantom Lancer banned out, no surprise, you do not want to face that. Alchemist banned out, the Shrek banned out, which is kind of saying to me that Alliance is not expecting this Clockwork to be an offlane, to be a support Clockwork.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be Dread on it, would be my guess. Regardless of the lane, it'll probably be a Dread clock. They do play Yule support clock, which is very strong as well, but in this case, that would leave them at a huge deficit for a good offlane hero. Like Darkseer might sneak through, but he's not that great, especially if he's a great hero, but he's not that great against Alliance's lineup so far, especially if they add on something like Gyrocopter to this. And Nature's Prophet is also a possibility, but he'll leave the safe lane fairly free to farm, so that's kind of why it's more likely that they'll actually put the Clockwork there.
Yeah, we are having another support ban out though. Alliance banning out the Rubik. So that is, oh, there's still a lot of supports in the pool though. I mean, I guess Alliance doesn't need anybody anymore. They have got the Nyx and the Coddle, so that's already the start of a trial lane that's gonna be probably safe, but knowing Alliance, they might try to switch something around here. And RoX is thinking about which carry to ban, because Alliance, I mean, to be fair, they play so many different carry heroes.
Yeah.
What can you ban?
It's immensely difficult to decide what to ban against, just simply because
I know.
Yes?
That was the one I was gonna say! Oh my god! Because of course Admiral Bulldog doesn't have a hero yet, basically.
Exactly. The Nature's Prophet ban is actually really smart. It's not generally that great of an idea to try to ban out a lot of Loda heroes. Like, you don't want to waste 3 or 4 bans just on Loda, because he'll just go, okay, fine, I'll play Sniper or something, right? PL was a smart ban here. Even with RoX's pretty decent against PL lineup, it would still be a very strong pickup. But taking out the Nature's Prophet does mean that Alliance has to scramble somewhat for a hero for Bulldog. Problem is, they still have the option of running Bulldog Magnus and S4 on something like Templar Assassin in the mid, which would still be very strong.
Yeah, and considering that RoX has not picked up a mid lane up yet, I mean, everything is still open, and should they go for something mid that, you know, Alliance wants to have a different counter for, it's possible. That's just what it is. I mean, it's so versatile still. I mean, they could even go for the Nyx Assassin mid if you really want to do it. I mean, it's tough to pick up heroes that are really trying to counter Alliance's lineup right now, because you know so little. So you have to just really try to go what's going to be great for you. We still have that Gyro in the pool, by the way.
Yeah.
I would guess if RoX's not going to pick it up right now, which I still think they can, though. I still think they might. Never mind.
It'll be awkward. Here's the Darkseer.
They do go for the Darkseer.
Not tremendously surprised. The Darkseer being on the table does make it, it's going to be Gyro, and it's going to be a mid for S4, and they're going to run Magnus, and honestly, I still feel like Alliance have a stronger draft. I like RoX's draft, but I'm afraid that Darkseer might not make as big of an impact as you usually see this hero making.
Yeah. But which carry is, like... I'm saying which mid would you see? Would you like to see up against... No, they're running Darkseer offlane, I think, with the Clockwork as a support. That's my guess.
They could run Yule Clock, Darkseer. It's kind of crappy. I mean, it's a good lineup. Whenever you have Darkseer and Clockwork, it's so great to take advantage of that synergy. But I agree with you that they probably won't, which leaves, you're right, it leaves them sort of needing a mid hero. There's still a lot of options. Solo plays a lot of Storm Spirit. I don't think that would be a bad choice this game. It doesn't win the lane against Magnus. Yeah, okay, Storm Spirit. Yeah, I'm not that surprised here. You're not going to win the lane against Magnus anyway, so don't try to pick a really dominant mid. Take something like Storm Spirit, where the upside potential is huge, and he can carry Lifestealer around. I think this is the most sensible pick. The only question will be the execution from solo. I've seen very good Storm Spirit games. I've seen very bad Storm Spirit games. So a lot is going to rest on Solo's execution and whether or not he gets picked off early in the mid.
Yeah, and one thing that's good for him in that case, I mean, Nyx Assassin and Keeper of Light are not the most gankish heroes early on in the game. I mean, Keeper of the Light is not really a hero that can really go ganking. Of course, Nyx Assassin is, he has got that shutdown, but it might not be enough to take down the Storm Spirit. And this is a Dragon Knight, so this is some different lanes. This is Magnus for Bulldog still, and then a Dragon Knight mid, most likely up against the Storm.
Yep, this is a pretty cool choice. I did say that they were most likely going to put Admiral Bulldog on Magnus. This is one of the annoying things about drafting against Alliance. I was actually discussing with a friend the other day, and he was like, oh, it's very easy to beat Alliance. All you do is ban Clockwork and Furion and first pick Syllabear. And I'm like, well, what they do is then they take Magnus and then they put Bulldog on the Magnus because he plays a perfectly reasonable Magnus. They're actually 4-1 with Bulldog playing Magnus in the last month. And then the Dragon Knight is such a strong initiator, actually. If you go fast Shadowblade, Pinoy style, it gives you the opportunity to generate stuns out of nowhere on players. And if Storm Spirit gets stunned down by the Dragon Knight like that, he's just going to die, honestly.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy game for RoX, but we already knew that. I think they know that too. So we'll see them playing probably very calculated. The only downside is to that, I mean, of course, we know RoX is a fairly aggressive team. They must not lose that, though. They have to not be too passive, because they do have that Storm Bomb, of course, with the Lifestealer, Lifestealer and Storm Spirit, so they must use it effectively. Still try to shut Loda down a bit if they can. And just try to maintain their cool without overextending, without getting too trigger happy on their ganks if they go for those. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they'll do here, and of course how Alliance is doing as well since they got back. They were only back 2 days. I would guess a bit of a jet lag might still be the issue, which is then making them right now playing fairly late in the evening. It's right now late in the evening / at night for China, so who knows? Maybe they'll be a bit tired. Maybe that will work in RoX's favor.
Jet lag.
Jet lag. You can hope for that. You know, you can hope for that.
It's absolutely a big factor. I mean, it's not something that you can discount. It's hard to understand the exact impact of it, but jet lag can have a huge effect. You think about, for instance, the TI3 West qualifier series between RoX.KiS and EG. That wasn't a matter of jet lag, it was just a matter of sleep deprivation. I mean, Bambo talked about it afterwards, that he said he was awake for 20 hours.
Yeah.
And he was playing Magnus, which is a fiddly hero at the best of times. He had cheese to worry about, he had Blink Dagger and whether or not it gets disabled. And he just made mistakes, not because he's a horrible player, just because, you know, that psychological element, that ability to just be on your best game and sharp and ready wasn't there.
I mean,
so
yeah,
we'll
you have
see
to be
if that
physical and in good state. I mean, it might be a computer game, but, you know, your brain has to have the energy to work and all, you know.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's, even if you, whether you want it or not, whether it's important or not, I mean, hey, people fall asleep behind the wheel, not because they think, you know, just let's close my eyes for a second. It happens because your brain works that way. You get tired because, you know, it happens. And yeah, like you said, it makes a difference. Question is, how big of a difference will it make here? Because is Alliance actually still having a jet lag is the question. Solo's block was a bit awkward. He managed to block 2 creeps, but there was still 4 that make it through. The good thing for him, though, is the range creep is already dead. That means the lane will already be pushed out towards his favor after this creep wave. As for, though, already getting his first 2 last hits, but also 2 going for Solo. This is a lane that we're going to be spending most of our time on, I would guess. Purely because I think that we'll see. Actually, we haven't introduced players yet. Oh my god, we are gonna see first Dread. He is in some trouble. He is playing the Clockwork. I was actually expecting him to play the Darkseer, but it looks like Yul will be playing the Darkseer in the jungle. So that is a bit of extra golden experience that RoX.KiS will gladly take. And wait a second, I'm gonna be going back to Dread because it doesn't look good for him right now. There will be another Impale as well. The Home Missile is gonna hit as well. Illuminate will fly. The block is there. Is it gonna be enough is the question. It might be that Home Missile. There is another tree though. Dread will eat it. They're gonna dive this. This will be first blood. There we go. EGM picks it up. Might die for it though. But tower gets taken over by Aki. Good support.
Nice teamwork there.
Nice
Aki actually, he's sucking up the aggro from the creeps to make sure that EGM, he was at 33 HP, but now he's going to be able to sell. Very nice play from Alliance here. I guess I should introduce them. So Aki and EGM are a support pair.
I was not done yet
Aki on the Keeper of the Light.
Oh, were you not done? No, I was saying
sorry.
Still Vanscore on the Shadow Demon, BZZ on a signature hero Lifestealer, and Solo on the Storm Spirit in the mid.
My bad there.
There we go.
Alright, so looking towards Alliance, EGM, Nyx Assassin, Ake, Keeper of the Light. The carry will be Loda up on this Gyrocopter. And then, did he actually play Gyrocopter in G1? I can't remember. I think 1 game. And then S4 on the DK in the mid, and that leaves Admiral Bulldog as the solo lane Magnus. He's actually still at level 1 as well, so as tough of a time as Dread has had, he is higher level than Bulldog is.
Yeah, that's good for the clock. Yeah, very. He'll have his flare to get some extra gold as well. We can of course compare BZZ to Loda. BZZ sitting on 14 for 8. A lot of the dice going his way. Of course, that's gonna be Bulldog still level 2 in the end, but a bit slower because of those denies. And it is Loda sitting on, what's he at? 13 for 10, so also doing really well actually, 14 for 10 right now. Though it is RoX right now that is highest up on the charts, not a big difference. But the most important difference is his mid lane. Solo, 19 for 3 S4, 14 for 0. So denies, even though it's 3 denies, it is still really good. You see the level difference a bit already. I mean, these kind of small level differences will make a big difference later on in the game.
Absolutely. Solo doing quite well so far. The other good thing that RoX.KiS are doing, you can see already doing a bit of jungle stacking, getting Yol those quick levels as the level 4. S4 in a bit of trouble mid, but he's probably okay, just because Bottle will save him. He was holding a regen as well. So Solo, again, he has to be careful about how much he tries to prosecute his advantage in this lane, because he can get punished extremely heavily, especially if an alliance support is rotating over. But so far, RoX are getting much more use out of their jungle than Alliance have gotten.
Yeah, we do see a bit of stacking indeed on the dire side, so it is gonna be extra farm waiting for Loda at some point. And that is something that BZZ will probably not have, because his supports will be trying to take that to get ahead. But that's an important thing though, like the supports of RoX will probably, because of that, be a bit higher level than the support of Alliance, if played the way that I think they're gonna be playing it. And in the mid game that will be make a big difference, I think. So that will be not a Nyx Assassin level 6 very fast, as he is still level 2, while the supports of RoX, I say supports, but basically it's only one, but that's only already level 3 up on Vanscore.
Yeah, the issue for... they're doing well as far as level development goes. The issue for Alliance, at least, is that Bulldog is still stuck at level 2. He's going to try to participate in a gag to punish Solo in the mid. This would tilt the lane advantage back towards S4, as well as get Admiral Bulldog some much-needed XP. But Solo has to fall for it. He has to go down the stairs. If he doesn't, there's no way they get the kill.
Yeah, he just emptied his bottle though.
Here we
But
go.
they're gonna try. Dragon Tail should be there, or is not there. There it is! And that should be Solo just fine. He is level 6 as well right now, so he has got Ball Lightning. The TP from Yol came as well. Not because he has mana to actually do something, but it does force Alliance back. Just a threat of having someone coming in to try and turn it around. It's not really somewhere where you want to be. They do take the tower top though, so Alliance do get that extra gold, and that will definitely also help that mid lane. S4 now getting some extra gold to his name, and should be making it a fairly even lane again, as Yol is actually taking up some farm here in the mid lane, knowing that his teammate is, well, I was gonna say back to base to heal up, but he's now looking to be going for some action on the top lane. He has to walk though. He doesn't have a TP scroll, and he decides to go middle instead. This is a long walk from Solo, and he changes his mind again. Come on, Solo, make up your mind.
He is having to make this choice, and this is wasting, I agree, a lot of time. S4 now taking the advantage of XP in that mid lane. But other than that, you still see RoX, because of their ability to deny Magnus in this lane, as well as getting a lot of use out of the jungle. They have a fairly substantial XP lead. Their only player who's really struggling is Dread, and everybody else is at level 4 or higher, whereas EGM just hit level 3, Bulldog just hit level 3. Alliance are struggling a bit to get levels on these critical heroes, especially Magnus. That said, Magnus, as long as he hits level 6 at some point, will give you RP. Clockwork, if he's really behind on levels, becomes almost a completely useless hero. They have to try to find some XP for Clockwork somewhere on the map.
Oh, they're gonna go for Bulldog though. Will there be an open wound? Are they gonna dive this? Looks like they are. The Soul Catcher's already there. Disruption. There was still a score, but they are really diving this hard. No TP's coming in, and Bulldog will go down. BZZ with the kill. Tower or not, he takes it. And with the Infest, not losing that much life either.
Yeah, almost none, in fact. Very safe for BZZ. Meanwhile, in the mid, Solo, he's pressuring S4 very, very heavily. S4 might have to ult to get away from this. Ah, no, Solo runs out of mana, so he's okay.
I guess that's S4's luck of being a bit extra tanky, I guess. And, well, the luck of Solo only being level 6 and only having a no talisman, no extra boots just yet. But the time will come that Solo will be able to do that and take him down as well. I'm kind of worried though, because you know we're saying like RoX has got this advantage, right, in levels on their supports, on their well, mostly on their supports actually, and their offlaners. But you already tipped it a bit. I mean, Bulldog is going to be having a more impactful level 6 than Dread is having on his Clockwork.
Definitely.
And then there's going to be a Nyx Assassin that also with his level 6 is going to be having a higher impact than the Shadow Demon, most likely.
Sure, I agree.
And the Darkseer, even though he is not a support, obviously, but he is gonna be that one hero that you can basically compare with the secondary support of Alliance. He needs more than level 6 to be able to do something either. So even though, you know, his ulti is still really great as well, it's just it takes more time for him to get to that level where he actually has a big impact. When is RoX gonna be able to really profit from this advantage that they have right now? And will it be in time before Alliance is at that level as well?
Yeah, their advantage is actually fading because Ake and S4 are doing some clever dual jungle farming. Ake stacked the creeps here, and now with Dragon Breath and Illuminate, they're clearing them very quickly. So this Dragon Knight is getting quite big, actually. He's now almost halfway through level 6, through level 8, sorry. So he is ahead of Solo substantially on XP, and he's getting pretty dangerous. Good news for RoX.KiS, I mean, BZZ is perfect, has had completely free farm. He has 59 last hits. That's quite good, actually. He's gotten most of the last hits available in this lane. He's moving towards Armlet quickly, and this Lifestealer is going to be dangerous. But I agree with you, RoX.KiS get a little bit less out of levels on each of their heroes than Alliance do. Especially because against the main carry that Alliance have, Darkseer is not tremendously effective. We've talked about this before, but Wall of Replica is not good against Gyrocopter. It doesn't get the... Ooh, here we go. Solo's going in.
Yeah, wants to go for Aki, but he gets a Dragon Tail with a double damage Dragonite in his face. That's not where you want to be. S4 takes the kill. Gets a disruption and the Soul Catcher though, and the Open Wounds as well. BZZ joins a fine TP incoming from EGM, looking for that Impale, but BZZ with the Rage will be able to rock away from that one. They go for Vanscore instead, get it as well. There's a Dragon Tail, Aki, 10 HP, who cares? He lives! Actually, no, he doesn't. Shadow Poison still gets him, even though Shadow Demon himself was already dead. That's at least something they get in return for that, but not a worthy trade for RoX at all. And walking into a double damaged S4 with Dragon Form up, not a smart move from Solo.
No, it's totally not, and it's exactly what we were talking about with Solo. Sometimes just I don't know, like he thinks he can win fights that he has almost no chance of actually winning, and running into a, it's not like he was bottling the DD. He had the DD already active. You could see the damage, and just the Storm Spirit jumps in and immediately takes a fall. Unfortunately, that'll give S4 even more development. Loda's still free farming up here. He's moving towards his, it looks like Helm of the Dom pretty quickly, which we might just see Alliance going over the top again.
Yeah, on the bright side for RoX, I mean, BZZ didn't die there. He did get a kill there as well, so in fact he is still a bit ahead of Loda. But, I mean, we just saw those neutrals being taken down by S4, and he just got that kill as well. And all of a sudden, he is top of net worth right now. And that is trouble for RoX. As we're gonna see him maybe even build a Shadow Blade? Looks like it.
On whom? Yeah, on
S4.
Dragon Knight? Absolutely. Yep. It's that Asian build we were talking about before. I actually think Shadow Blade on Dragon Knight is amazing. You can, if you pop your ultimate and then Shadow Blade in, it's like a free, very long duration stun on a target of your choice, because he's so fast with the Shadow Blade in his ultimate form that he can just get in, even if they see him coming, like with a Sentry or something. Frequently you can't stop the stun from actually landing. And one of the issues with Magnus, especially a Magnus that's going to get a very late Blink Dagger, is it's hard to set up the RP, but Shadow Blade lets you set up much easier on the most critical target.
Hey, look at BCZ. It almost looks like Lifestealer is actually just, you know, he is not walking off 4 feet. He's just
looks like he's waving.
He looks like he's gonna bitch slap someone.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. That looks awkward. By the way, one thing to note is that BZ has got his armlet, so the courier is bringing it towards him. We already have got Solo and Vanscore hanging around the bottom lane. I'm thinking Nyx Bomb. They have that, and this is the time to use it as well, while they're in the mid game, because if they wait longer, they'll have to deal with Loda as well, and for now they can be happy that Loda is still farming top.
Yep. That's a fantastic point, and here we go. The Lifestealer has infested the Storm Spirit. If they can get some kills, especially if they could kill Bulldog again, even though he's only level 5, hold that Magnus down, prevent him from getting 6. Here we go. They're going to do it.
Yeah, infest out. No hope for him. He tried to skewer, but he dies mid-skewer. Soul Catcher up on S4, by the way. They could try to go for this if they really wanted to, but here comes the supports. More of them. Smoked up, actually. Open wounds. They still go for S4. S4, he's gonna go down before he can reach his target. There he goes. That's a double kill for BZZ. We need Loda here to help out, but he is there. Oh, actually, there he is. Impale up on 2, Colden up on 3. 1 goes down. Yol and Solo running for their lives. Solo will go, or Yol will go down rather, and Jack, oh, he actually gets BZZ as well, and 2 very low life targets left. Now with only 1. BZZ, he bought back though. He wants to go for Loda. He takes Loda. That's an ultra kill because it's still counted. Hookshot in. Dread comes here as well. That's a triple kill for Loda still as he takes the storm down. But it is also a Nyx Assassin going down. That was, by the way, a Rampage denied. Just saying.
Yeah. Dread, very rude, denying his teammate the Rampage. Good buyback from BZZ, actually. If they had not cleaned up Loda, that would have been, frankly, another disaster for them. Because they would have lost the Storm again and still not even gotten the Gyrocopter, and Gyrocopter would have picked up the triple. So, I like this buyback, but still, RoX, the main good thing there was Admiral Bulldog is still not level 6, but he will hit it now. So they denied RP for another team fight. This is good. I think they're doing a lot of the right things. The only question is whether it'll actually be enough to overwhelm the fact that Alliance are getting development on these critical heroes.
Yeah, Loda, I mean, he just died for the first time. He's still doing really nice on the net worth. He actually surpassed S4. And after that fight, of course, he got a lot of kills there, so that kind of helped. Double kill, actually. But with that fight also, even after buying back, BZZ is now on top of the net worth. And I know I give a lot of attention to that, but that's just very important in this state of the game, in this time. It is not that much about captaining just yet. I mean, we still, of course, have that decision making that makes the biggest impact. But items right now are just, I mean, that could tip the scale. And it looks like we're gonna see a fight maybe bottom. EGM though, he pops his Vendetta and he's gonna look for a support. Can't find Dread because he's invisible, but Solo is right there. He's gonna find Dread right next to him actually, and there he goes. An Infest on the Storm, by the way, that's gonna be an easy Infest. So they find EGM, Sentry being placed. Cogs are there, the Infest is not even needed, or is it? Yes, BZD just saving that for the kill steal, great. It's now 8-8 in the kill score, and these kind of pickups are the ones that you would expect RoX to get. The only downside for them is, they're not getting anything in return.
Right, when you have to use your Nyx Bomb for something like just barely picking off a Nyx Assassin, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it is another kill for BZD's perfect. And he's 6-1. He has his armlet and 2k gold. This is a lifestealer that's going to be doing a very, very intimidating amount of damage. And that's great news, frankly, for them.
Yeah, well, we already see 2 tier 1 towers down on RoX. And it looks like the third is about to drop as well, if there's no supports incoming. We only have got Vanscore hanging around, and him by himself can't really do anything against 3 heroes of Alliance that are sitting around here. And they actually back off in the end with the fortification being there to help out. But I'm kind of thinking they can take this and... Well, the supports go away from S4, so S4 right now in a tough position, but the rest came in anyway. There's a ward though, he scouts it out, he can run, and he Shadow Blades away, because he indeed picked that one up. Hookshot misses, S4 runs into safety, Ball Lightning doesn't catch him either from Solo, does use a lot of mana actually for Solo. The wards right now for Alliance doing the works. They actually also counterwarded the ancient stack, and they used a lot of they killed off a lot of trees to get that, which are now gonna grow back.
They did. That was a nice route by S4 actually. Smart to try to sort of curl around and avoid the hook shot. So good play by him, keeping himself safe. But they don't get the tower, and they spent a decent amount of time on multiple heroes there. Keep in mind, Bulldog though, he is finally level 7, so he has his reverse polarity. He maxed out his shockwave. Won't have Blink Dagger for a long, long time, but RP is no longer something you can afford to ignore if you're RoX.KiS.
No, definitely not. It's gonna be there with the next team fight. They have to get the pickoffs and avoid team fights from now on. Even though for team fights previously they were able to do okay-ish, even with the cooldown already being in favor of Alliance. But now they can't afford it. They can't afford the team fight, and I'm actually thinking Alliance will try to look for them. Even though Gyro is not that decked out just yet, they don't even need him right now. They have got a Dragonite that's pretty fat as well. And him with his Dragon form deals out a lot of damage as well, and he's actually level 11 right now, so looking good. Only got 1 level in his Dragon Tail actually. Doesn't want the extra stun duration, but he is super tanky right now. He's not gonna die anytime soon, I think.
Yeah, I agree. One nice thing for RoX.KiS is that Darkseer, we talked earlier about how little differences in how you behave in lane or the jungle or what have you can have a big difference later. And one thing that you see here is that Yol is actually the 3rd highest level person on the map. He's tied with S4 at level 11. And this is their number 4. Like, he's so far ahead of his counterparts on Alliance that basically it's just this Darkseer alone that's making the difference in XP if you look at the XP graph. That's basically all Darkseer.
That's, yeah, and on top of that, he's got a mechanism.
Top, solo.
Oh, in some trouble. TP incoming as well. As solo that will go down. BZZ though, he's left alone. He's gonna get a solo RP just to save Loda. And he will die. That was, I'm not sure. They were gonna go for, of course, the Storm Nyx bomb, but really going that far without vision.
Catastrophic, honestly.
Really?
They lose both cores and feed the gyrocopter and don't even kill him. Again, I almost don't trust Solo on Storm Spirit. He's a great Storm Spirit player, but he just goes so far in sometimes. It's just scary.
Yeah, S4, he used his Shadow Blade, but the sentry was there. Disruption is gonna save Dread for now. Oh, stick charges mechanism. Yul coming in just in time. Can they try and turn this around is the question. I don't think so. Dread gonna get stunned, will go down, does what he can, but indeed drops. It will be Solo that dies as well, and that is, of course, something that they could do, knowing that there's no BZZ, that Solo was still dead on point of initiation, and that is still a spin-off from having those 2 heroes, like you said, the 2 cores getting picked off, and that's, I mean, like, you can facepalm for that right now.
This is G1 champion play, right? You get the pick off top, you immediately rotate bottom and get more kills. You don't just sit on your laurels and say, hey, we got 2 kills. You say, hey, we can mop up their entire
wait. There is a lot of fighting going on. BZZ already killed off the Nyx, but S4, he took down Solo again. Can BZZ get a return kill? He gets Surge, Vacuum helps out. Dragon Tail not going to be enough because the Iron Shell was still there, and BZZ may be looking for more. He has got those face boots. TP out, doesn't have any way to stop Aki from TPing out though, so he won't get that kill. He at least got S4, but Solo died again for that. And they lost their tier 1 tower. I'm not quite sure if that counter initiation was worth it. There was a buyback though. That was actually Yol dying or buying back into the game. He did get that kill on S4, so he got something out of it.
It was a good buyback. The Surge and Vacuum and all that good stuff was critical to making sure they actually found those kills. So, good buyback on the Darkseer. Again, he can afford to. He's a little bit ahead of where you would expect him to be, so he's okay. I like that play from them. The tough thing is, ooh, actually, they're going to try to catch Bulldog, but I think he can skewer to safety.
Did he actually
nice,
see
they're
that?
going to block the camp. Or they don't need to because he failed the pull, but still, good.
They have a
game
ward
sense.
as well, so it just
Nice.
got placed, yeah.
Nice. I don't know. I still feel like Alliance just taking that win and then taking another teamfight win. Sure, they lost S4, but Loda now finishes his BKB. He's carrying around this Alpha Wolf just to give him critical strike. This Gyrocopter is starting to get to the point where, yeah, I mean, he's more scary than the Lifestealer now, straight up.
Yep. With the BKB, I mean, he's already been involved in these fights. Normally you'd see Carry, you know, farming, but he has actually been in 9 out of the 13 kills. That's a lot for a safe lane farming Gyrocopter. So every time he's coming in with the cooldown, of course, he'll get a lot of assists with that, and of course a lot of kills with that flag cannon as well. And it's been paying off. It's just been really paying off. BZZ, he has been involved in all kills of RoX. Fair, actually, hookshot in, hits on 2, only gets 1 on the Coxo, but it is the most important one. It is Loda, but he turns on his BKB, able to pick off Dread. BZZ infest out, doesn't get a gem with it, 5 HP, and he shall pay. And he goes down. That is a double kill for Loda. Vanscore, you better run. And you better run fast. Home Missile is gonna chase you down. EGM is gonna chase you down perhaps. And Vanscore out safe in the meantime on the top lane RP. Bottom lane rather, y'all. Gets solo RP'd. Gets Dragon Tailed. And won't be able to surge because that's already in cooldown. Mech is still gonna be there actually. Vacuum trying to TP out, but there will be enough damage to take him down before he can. That's 3 dead on multiple lanes.
They're gonna get top, EGM probably. Oh, maybe not.
So
Oh no. He's dead.
he's completely out of
He has
mana.
no
Last
mana.
1 hit. Aki, he might actually be able to do this. He doesn't have a point in mana leak though. But Loda being here is gonna be it's gonna be enough. He was still able to pick up the Nyx in the end, which is great. He knew that he was gonna die. He's thinking, you know what, at least I might be trying to get something out of this, but still dying. That's 4 heroes down on all 3 lanes, like combined. That is Alliance just, you know, getting 4 kills just across the map without really any big team fight with a solo RP on Yol even.
their TPs are so good. They just move to whichever lane is necessary. I mean, it's nice to have all 6 outer towers because that gives you the capacity to TP anywhere, but just the right people go to the right place at the right time, and right now it's really punishing RoX.KiS, who are trying to take advantage their team composition, especially Storm Spirit plus Snakes. It's an attempt to take advantage of mispositioning on the opposing team. And right now there are few teams that you can take advantage of less than Alliance in that respect.
Yeah, and I mean, RoX also, like you already mentioned, it is a team that actually sometimes just overextends, and Alliance indeed very quick to respond to that and just to make you pay. Desolator is almost up on the lifestealer, by the way, so that might make a difference for him. We already saw BZZ sitting on high net worth throughout the entire game. He's still highest for his team, but right now he's surpassed by quite a bit by both S4 and Loda, and that's starting to get really scary.
Yeah, Lifestealer's capacity to farm is not where Gyrocopter and Dragon Knights is. S4 got an earlier red dragon than you usually see to clear out this 4-stack ancient camp in the east, and it got him way ahead. It got him most of the way to the BKB. So that now puts him in a very good position. He's got BKB, he's difficult to slow or CC, he can get around quickly in his dragon form, he has AoE. This Dragon Knight is extremely scary.
Yeah, by the way, Solo, I feel like he's been involved in a lot of things. He has 7 assists, so he's been involved in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's 0-5.
But he is actually 5, yeah, he is 5 deaths of the 17 deaths that they have combined, and that is actually quite a lot. It looks like he started building an Orchid, realizing he wasn't getting anywhere, now picks up an Ogre Club, so wants to go for BKB. But this is a Storm Spirit that is turned in to basically the taxi of BZZ, and then one disable, and then that's it, and a slow, perhaps.
Completely right. He is a bunch of mediocre stats items, a little bit of an Orchid, now turning into a BKB. Just the indecision as well as some of the over-aggression is, I don't know, it's just sometimes when RoX.KiS play Storm, this happens. Like, they aren't able to find the kills. It's a hero that really takes advantage of opposing mistakes, and you're up against a team that plays fairly tight conservative Dota, especially S4 in the mid, and so far Alliance have just kind of outplayed them in that respect. They've played too well for the Storm Spirit to be able to take advantage.
Yeah, and every time they did get pickups... Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Flare's already there. Dread is sitting around. Solo gonna go in. There he goes. Is he in time? Yes, he is! He gets it! Roshan still goes down to the Dire. Aegis gets burned down completely immediately, but he should be able to ball lighting himself. Oh! What? There he goes. Woo! Edward Bulldog almost going for an RP. EGM still chasing him down. But there's gonna be Demonic Purge trying to help out and disrupting to save his life. Oh, that might actually be hurting him more than saving him. Solo is completely out of mana and will be getting RP'd. Magnus goes down with him though. Darkseer Wall doing that. Yul running for his life. S4 chasing him down. Does have another Dragon Tail if he can just get the vision. Doesn't want to really dive though. Not without his team closer by him. So that is, I mean, they still got the Aegis. That's a big pick off.
Didn't they also? They didn't get the kill.
No, they
on
didn't
it.
get the kill. It was a snatch on the Aegis. No kill on the Roshan himself. So good snatch. They do lose Solo, and they are also gonna lose their tier 2. Probably. Or are they? BZZ, open moves, onto EGM. EGM goes for Son upon Dread. Dragon Tail gonna be hitting as well, and BZZ will go down. Yol dies as well, or probably gets disrupted, but on an inch of his life. Surge is gonna not be enough. And that is already a killing spree again for S4, who gets Vortex. Solo trying to do what he can. Hook shot in. Dread will be safe. Solo, not so safe. Triple kill for Loda, as also Vanscore goes down without really being involved in the fight, without really being directly attacked by Loda. That's just flat cannons and start off for Butterfly doing the work. So Eagle Song already in his pocket, and tier 3 now. This is not worth an Aegis steal.
God no. I mean, I knew he'd go for the Aegis steal. You were doubting, but like, it's Solo on Storm Spirit. His entire decision-making flowchart is just a giant bubble reading YOLO. Like, he was always going to go for that Roshan. It was his destiny. Unfortunately, they actually paid dearly for that decision, but they had to have known he was going to make it.
Yeah, and now with Dread going down as well again, I mean, just slightly out of position. I think RoX can be very happy that they actually still have their tier 2 standing, because otherwise I think Alliance might have been able to end it, and it looks like they're not backing off. They might just be able to end it regardless. They find Yol. Ball lighting in, infested as well. Goes for Goes for Loda, but he is gonna be having his butterfly. He is doing, yes, fine, VZZ, not so fine, Yule not so fine, nobody not so fine. Apart from Vanscore, he is still alive. Not for long though, he got a Dragon Tail, and the GG is called. This is RoX getting rolled over in the end. They had a very strong start. I actually at some point was thinking they can do this, but Alliance just proving with their mobility, coordination, and just making RoX pay for every little overextension that they do, even though some overextensions were pretty big. Yeah, ending up winning the first game of StarLadder Season 6 for them.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yes, nice play overall by Alliance, good drafting. Again, they're such a difficult team to outdraft. I honestly don't even know, with the 2-ban regime, like where you have 2 bans rather than 3 bans first, I honestly don't know how you outdraft Alliance. I'm pretty sure it's not actually possible. You have to look to out-execute them. So, a good draft. I love Dragon Knight. He's such a great... That patch change that changed Dragon Tail to a ranged stun made the hero so much more fun to play and so much more viable that I just feel he's really great. And this mid Dragon Knight Shadow Blade is a very, very versatile, good way to play the hero. So overall, I didn't think RoX.KiS looked terrible. I just think, I don't know, the Storm Spirit solo, he needs to take like defensive driving classes or something.
By the way, for people that want to continue watching the Alliance, you know that there is going to be a game between Alliance and Na'Vi at 9. To kill the time in between this game and that game, you can watch RoX.KiS taking on KP. Should be a very enjoyable game as well. It's going to be StarLadder, going to be the game coming up next on this stream. So RoX.KiS versus KP, that is indeed Eternal Envy's team. Not sure if Arteezy will be there today. He has been missing for quite some time, but we'll find out if he's going to be missing today as well. But just so you're aware, you're going to have 1 hour and 15 minutes to kill before you can watch Na'Vi Alliance. So you might as well stick around, because that's where we'll be. We'll be sticking around. We'll be casting RoX.KiS versus Yule. Of course, my co-caster is Vykromond for the night. If you want to be following him, you can do so on twitter.com/Vykromond. The way it's written down is the way it's written down in stream. And if you want to follow me, you can do that on /SheeverGaming. And we will be there again for the next game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.